race is underway, and it's a good start from Timo Bernhard. Excellent getaway. I think he's managed to just about make the start. Not such a brilliant start from Rick Wood in the Capri, but it was a pretty impressive start from James Thorpe in the Chevy Camaro, because started down in 6th place, got up into 2nd position. Fantastic.
Yeah, excellent. Great for them all to avoid. We've got them all heading down now into Fordwater, then into St Mary's, all keeping it nice and clean. It's a 45-minute race, so they need to make sure they stay as close to the leading pack as possible, and everyone seems to be doing that quite nicely at the moment.
Timo Bernhard then, who's not done a lot of racing around the Goodwood track, but really getting into gear straight away, doing a good job out in front. The top 3 pulling away a little bit. It's all the powerful American machines, the Mustang and 2 Chevy Camaros. Then the Capri of Rick Wood is leading the next group, as you can see, and they're all battling for position. And then we've got the Mini. Nice to see the Mini as far up as it is there after a very, very good start. I think it's the Alex Buncombe Nick Swift car that's so far up as we get this race truly underway now. And still, Timo Bernhard, who started from that pole position that was earned by the driver who will be taking over later, Fred Shepherd. There's a bit of movement as they head down towards Woodcote Corner. Thankfully, they're keeping it clean so far.
Yeah, nicely done. Nicely. A great big packed grandstand as well. How long are the tie barriers going to last on the inside there? Been repaired numerous times this weekend. We've got some side-by-side action there. The BMW just ahead of this pack, and the gap at the front between the number 17, the Bernhard car, and the 31 of Thorpe is just over 1 second, Ben. So he's managed to eke out a tiny bit of a gap at the moment.
Timo Bernhard that has got the advantage up front at this stage. Meanwhile, all trying to come through, Marino Franchitti. I think he's going to get the chance this time as we ride on board with Rick Wood. Yeah, Marino Franchitti has squeezed past the Capri, pushed him down another place, but there's still a long, long way to go in this race. In fact, there's been a change there because, yeah, the number 15 has got up. So the Mustang's got past the Chevy there, so Craig Davis has gained 3rd place now. So you've now got Mustang, Chevy, and then another Mustang and a Chevy. That's our top 4.
It's the car control behind the wheels, and we've got the 63 Mini, which is having an attack there on the Marlborough car.
Yeah, Jamie Chadwick's in the number 18. She's definitely under a bit of threat right now from Matt Neal. So the great touring car, British touring car, multiple champion, Matt Neal. He's in that little Mini, number 63, and he's up against Jamie Chadwick, who's not raced here at Goodwood in the past. She's done a Festival of Speed. She's racing in America at the moment, and a multiple W Series champion, of course. You've raced against her many times, Alice. She's really adapted to a very different style of car, isn't she?
Yeah, I saw Jamie earlier on, and she was saying, yeah, this is certainly different. As you said, her first time here racing on this Goodwood circuit, and I think she's doing a great job. 3rd and 2nd is a little bit bigger as the BMW. Fantastic livery on that car. This is a great battle further down the pack. Ever so close. Do they make it through without contact? Yes, they do. We've chucked another Mini in there. The Duckham's Mini is trying to try its luck around the outside. Might struggle down the straight, try and get in the slipstream as it can as they head down this very long, slightly uphill Levant straight, and then they'll jump on the brakes into Woodcote.
There has been a change for 3rd place. The car that Thorpe and Prio are sharing has now moved up into 3rd. Oh, the BMW and the RS2000 actually touching sides as they come down into Levant. Thankfully, there was no actual incident between them, but that was all a little bit scary. Thankfully, they managed to sort themselves out. Kerry Michael in the Escort. So, yeah, that was all getting a little bit too tight, but thankfully they sorted themselves out. Let's hope they can keep it clean. And it's the only BMW we've got in this race. It's being shared by James Tadler and Nicholas Padmore, and it's going around the outside. Nick Padmore has made the move. Lovely move there.
Yeah, and the Ford Escort, I thought that was it. I thought it was going to go round. Now the Mini's going to try and slide up the inside, heading up the straight into Levant Corner. Be brave to go around the outside there, but he's giving it a go. Does he make it stick? Yes! Great move by the number 60. The Buncombe and Swift car. That was brave stuff there, Ben.
Yeah, Nick Swift's in the car at the moment, and he really made that work extremely well. But when you're into straight line speed again, of course, he's at a disadvantage, and the RS2000 is now coming back past the Mini. But this is what you see all the time, and I love seeing it. And you see how late the Mini can brake, for example, as they come down into Le Mans, always closes right up again. Yep, they are. They're all three absolutely together now. And what you will see, I think, is this the blue and white Ford Capri. You will see that coming in pretty much straight away, because Rick will want to hand over to Jake Hill, because he knows what Jake can do with that car. Jake absolutely loves that Capri, and he wants to be out there for as long as possible to see how much how many places he can possibly gain in the next part of the race. So we shall see. The other Capri there is of Mike Whitaker, but it's gone through. So Mike Whitaker's made a pretty decent move there.
Yeah, very good. Rick Wood, you can see, great onboard, constantly fighting the rear of that car. Pit window now is now open, Ben.
Okay, great. So we will start to see cars heading into the pits for driver swaps coming up now. And as we thought, Rick Wood is in straight away, because he's handing over to Jake Hill. So here you have British Touring Car star, the man who's still looking for his first title win in the British Touring Cars, but he's going to have a real chance of it this year with the BMW. Out in front at the moment, it is the number 31 machine that is leading, but into the pits it comes now. So this is the Andy Prio, James Thorpe car that is now going to be swapped over.
Another fast driver taking over that car in Andy Prio, the team captain, of course, and three-time World Touring Car champion. But now, here's the pictures we want to see. Jake Hill hustling this Ford around this incredible circuit. And I can tell you that that Ford's not going to be going in a straight line. He's often going to be sliding around the corners, hustling it. So here, at the moment, if we've got our leader currently on the track, the number 28 car, the Tetley and Christensen car.
Yeah, no, that's right. This is the actual leader now. So we shall see how this goes. Jack Tetley and Tom Christensen. Tom Christensen, the driver, taking it on. And we shall see how this all works out. Oh, and we've got a car stopped at the side, one of the Capris. Right, now it looks like the race leader is now in. So Jack Tetley is going to be handing over to Tom Christensen,
who casually walks around the side of the car. He's not yet in a rush. So already Jake Hill setting purple sectors down in 17th place. Obviously not his actual position, because we've still got drivers ahead that are yet to stop. But now we're looking at the shots of Tom sliding into the car.
Isn't it lovely? Yeah. 9-time Le Mans winner. We're watching him swapping into cars, which he's done all through his life so effectively. Safety car is out, apparently. Pit window still open. Now this could really benefit whoever stops now. They will come and then hard on the throttle and get the race back underway. We have just over 15 minutes to go, and sure enough, well, actually it's saying pit lane's still closed at the moment, interestingly, so they still can't come in. But we shall see how this all works out. There's some big battles going on further back from cars that definitely have stopped. And in the middle there, number 17, that is a key vehicle, because that is definitely in a good position. Freddie Shepherd, who set the fastest time in qualifying, now getting through some of these cars. That BMW has not yet stopped. The number 25 BMW, which is well up on the order, that hasn't stopped. And meanwhile, Jake Hill is going to have a really good chance to gain some big places on this restart.
Yeah, just got to try and make sure he keeps out of trouble, which is much easier said than done. Looking down the inside there, going into St Mary's, you can see just casually drifting. Looks so casual, doesn't he, at the wheel, does Jake Hill, then through the left-hander of St Mary's. So cleared the traffic. I'm sure he will be aware of who's around him, who he's in the battle with. He'll know the cars, he'll know the numbers, and he'll know the names, as we've got some more movement further down the field. The number 10 Ford there that had that bit of a wobble at the start. But Jake Hill, you can see him on your screen now, just over 14 minutes remaining. And he is trying desperately to make his way further forward. And I expect those that have not pitted should really box at the end of this lap.
Absolutely, because actually we're beyond the original time you're allowed to, but of course they've had to extend to that time. If anybody needs to come in, they will be coming in, but most of them have made their pit stops, so we shall see. Yeah, there you are, the BMW is coming in as we thought. So that is now making a stop. But up front, it is still Ash Sutton, as you said, because you'd said you'd seen that swap, as you pointed it out. It hasn't been registered for some reason on our TSL screen.
We've got some traffic that will come out in front of these lead cars who have pitted. So that will hinder the likes of Jake Hill, who was hoping he has got a bit of clean air, but he hasn't now due to the traffic.
No, that's right, and Jake is down in 9th position. So he's got a bit of work to do, see whether he can gain a bit more. The next one that Jake's going to be up against is Tom Christensen. So you've got some real superstar drivers out there. Let's see, this is the overtake. So this is how Shedden did it. Let's have a look. What do you reckon?
Oh, brave on the brakes, how he managed to save that. Beautiful stuff. So now we hop on board with him too.
Yeah, he got past Tom Christensen a moment ago. So he's now going to be heading up against Ollie Bryant. I'm not sure that's the car actually ahead of him right now. I think it might be a little bit further ahead. Yeah, that's one of the Capris that's ahead of him. He's going to be up against, in terms of actual position, a Chevy Camaro is the next one. But there is obviously a little bit of a gap that he's got to close. It was quite a big gap last time they came around. It was only 6 seconds, so some work to do there. Yeah,
some work to do, but he gets nicely and smoothly past the Andrew Jordan and Simon Evans 75 Ford Capri.
I wonder if he's going to do the same on the way into St Mary's.
Meanwhile, he's setting his personal best of the race, is Dario Franchitti. So Gordon Shedden hounding him from behind, clearly not putting him off. Of course, he's a professional, but still maybe dialing into the use. But here we go, Gordon Shedden down the inside at St Mary's, Ben.
Yeah, fantastic move. That is Gordon Shedden's area. He has done it. He's managed to get past Dario Franchitti in a superb move, and that has put him into a podium finish, in theory, if it all carries on as is at the moment. Shedden up into 3rd place, getting past Dario Franchitti, and he will be very happy about that. But oh no, we've got another Capri off to the side of the track. Okay, this is what we're seeing, is actually the Mini getting past the Rover.
Able to be a bit more light, a bit more nimble, so able to brake a little bit later. That's a tendency you see with the Minis against these bigger beasts, is that they're just able to brake that little bit later, but of course then they haven't got the power down the straight to keep up. But Ash Sutton, the gap's come down ever so slightly, but of course Ash is a professional. He'll know how to manage a gap. He's got a little bit of traffic in front of him, which depends on what part of the circuit you do happen to catch the traffic. Obviously, the chicane is not the most ideal place, it's the worst place, unless you're brave enough to dive down the inside. So a little bit of traffic for him as he makes his way through Levant.
There is our race leader then. So Ash Sutton still in control. Has come down a little bit more. 2.4 seconds last time they came around, so he added about 3 or 4 seconds for a while. It's now down to 2.4 seconds, and Freddie Shepherd is still holding on to that excellent 2nd position for now. But it is all looking very, very good indeed, even with a car off to the side there, as Ash Sutton comes over the line and takes the checker flag. Ash Sutton and Craig Davis take victory in the Gordon Spice Trophy here at Goodwood with a 2.6-second advantage over Freddie Shepherd and Timo Bernhard. We've got the battles further on, and Jake Hill still attacking, can't quite do it as he comes across the line, but he's had a great fun time. He ends up finishing in 8th position. The fight there is a nice smile on Jake's face, as we can see from the onboard picture. And Gordon Shedden and James Young, they got the, Jack Young rather, they got the 3rd place in the end. So double points for being a house captain for Shedden.
Green flags are being waved, so they will get ready. Everyone is in gear.
They're all set for the start. And here we go, the 81st members meeting underway. The Hailwood Trophy is starting well. And what a good start from Dan Jackson. He's snatched the lead immediately. Graham Higler, number 51, has also gone well.
Yeah, he did. He came through. And as we saw from the start, Michael Rutter really struggled to get the Honda off the line. So he's just back a little bit there.
Here comes Ray Atkinson on the outside, though, battling away with Glenn English, the pole man, who didn't get off the line, but he's going to battle hard. We know how feisty he can be.
Yeah, he can indeed. It's always a bit careful these early laps. You've just, after sitting on the grid for a bit and in the waiting area, you've lost a little bit of temperature, so you've got to go easy, especially on the left-handers. This left-hander here is the first left-hander you've got to, so you've got to be a bit steady, a bit careful on the throttle. Just coming in there a little bit wide there, just because of exactly that.
Look at this, battle for the lead already, and straight in there. Glenn English has taken the lead away from Dan Jackson. That was brave stuff on this opening lap. Good start by Andy Hornby from 8th. He's up to 5th. But in that little lead group is still a bit away. Look at the speed that Glenn's going with.
Well, Glenn, he just seems, it's like his tyres are absolutely up to temperature. He's got so much more confidence there. Atkinson just going round Higlett there. So the first 1, 2, 3, we got all our TZ350 little Yamahas. Higlett's having a look up the inside, can't quite do it.
I tell you what, though, Andy Hornby, who's at the back of this group, he's the first of the 4 strokes, I think, at the moment, and he's looking for a hat-trick of victories. Have we got another one up there?
Yeah, we just got Higlett there, number 51, just coming through.
Sorry, yeah, so he's second in that class at the moment. There you are, he's behind him. So that 51 versus 42 is the battle in the Sheep Trophy, effectively. And the number 42 bike, that man is looking for a hat-trick here in this event over the last 3 years. Well, you told us to watch out for Phil, and he's certainly getting in there, but Dan Jackson right behind him there, number 55, is still part of the game. These 3 seem to be getting away from everybody else at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what lap time we did. The fastest lap of practice was 1:27.2. As they come out and they head to the line. I think let's have a little look as they cross the line. So 1:26.8 for Atkinson. That's the fastest lap of the weekend. Those leading 3 all in the 27s, and also Hornby was in the 27s as well, 1:27.9. So
the race is being stopped. It is a red flag. The riders are taking full notice of that. Engines fire up. We've got a green flag from the back of the grid. We're all set to go racing once again. The Hailwood Trophy featuring the Sheen Trophy here at Goodwood, and the 81st members meeting underway once again. And this time it's a much better start from Glenn English, number 25. He gets away far more effectively this time, but up the inside with Graham Higlett, number 51, making another good start.
Yeah, Michael Rutter had a nightmare off the start there, much worse. It looked like it completely bogged down. He had an initial launch, and I don't even know if he's managed to get it going. I think he has. Whereabouts is he? But he was really, there he is.
Wow, that far down, really?
No.
Oh, is he? So, sorry, I didn't realise. Yeah,
he just couldn't get it. It just seemed to bog and die. But Glenn English, the man who was leading the first bit, he's out in front in first. You can see it's a little bit closer. Who have we got?
Andy Hornby's not made such a good start this time, so he's going to have a bit more work to do. Number 42, he's a little bit further down in the pack. But look at the way that Glenn English is getting away.
He's so confident on these early laps with the tyres at that bit cooler. He really is. You can see that confidence. He knows the feel of these and gets going. We've got Higlett in second there on the Bob North Triumph 150, number 51. Atkinson's just come past him, and then behind him, climbing all over the back, was Dan Jackson.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff, and we're seeing some good moves up through the order. Jamie O'Brien's done pretty well, but the race leader, Glenn English, is absolutely flying at this stage and taking full advantage. So Phil Atkinson now up into that second place. Can he start to close the gap? Remember, it's a 5-lap race. They've already done 1 pretty much. Only 4 laps to go.
Yeah, sorry, Glenn just had a little bit of movement there, just hitting that little bit of oil coming out on the chicane on that first lap. Let's have a little look. What's he got? 1.3 second lead over Atkinson in second. Jackson's now up to third. Higlett fourth. Michael Russell there in fifth.
Here's the battle for the lead. Look how close they are.
Yeah, it was 1.3 seconds when they came over from the line for the first lap, but that's down to just maybe 2 or 3 tenths, if that, as they come out. Atkinson looking very good. About to put him under a little bit of pressure here. Got to watch that little bit of oil, watch that left-hand side of the tyre, and out they come.
And you can see Glenn English is always absolutely on the limit. But it looks to me as though Phil's got a little bit more control. He's just taking his time. That was the fastest lap by Phil. He's just done a 1:26.8. My goodness, that was a really good lap time.
That first turn is tricky, and Glenn has got it now. Glenn can win here at the Revival. He can win on these. He's a great all-round rider.
Down the inside, he's gone for the lead, and he's done it. So Phil Atkinson has taken the lead from Glenn English. Glenn will try and come back, though.
Yeah, he will. He certainly won't be giving up. So he'll be having a good look in. And in the background, let's not forget about Jackson. Jackson's putting a really good lap here. He looks like he's coming right back on these guys as well. So this is the Hailwood Trophy as we're seeing, and this is that move. Atkinson just ran it around up the inside, and he had the line for the left-hander. A really nice move there at St Mary's.
Yeah, beautiful late braking, but beautifully under control. So Phil Atkinson is now the race leader. Bike number 1, looking to try and take victory. Just 2 laps to go. Glenn will always go on the attack. We've seen him here at Goodwood in the past, but also Dan Jackson, former winner. Oh, and here we go around the outside. He's trying to go around the outside there, English. Meanwhile, further back, Andy Hornby's now got up into 4th place. That's a really good move from him, because he didn't make the best start. So we've got battles amongst the 2 strokes, but also battles amongst the 4 strokes as well.
But it's Atkinson that's got the slipstream.
So Phil Atkinson, he's got the slipstream. Can he find a way past? As Jackson also getting involved on the inside as well. Which way is it going to go in the Hailwood Trophy? All 3 fighting. Atkinson up the inside, number 1, but watch out. Yeah, back up the inside goes Glenn English. Beautiful. I knew he was going to try that. Can he hold on into the chicane? The final run through. The right and left of the chicane. And Glenn's holding on to it. Yes, Glenn English is going to take the... No, he's slowed down. Suddenly, problem crossed the line. I don't know what happened. Atkinson takes the victory. English is 2nd. Wow. Oh, my goodness, I don't know quite what happened. Engines are fired up, and the race is underway. And again, as ever, look how slow Mark Walker is away, and he gets passed by Duncan Pittaway. Immediately, you're on board with that slow getaway machine of Mark Walker, but actually hasn't lost too many places.
No, going into the first corner, double apex at Madgwick. He's already picked off 1 or 2 on the inside, but a brilliant start from the inside, the pole position. Julian Majoub getting away, but in the background, the top 5th, 6th, in about 8th place, actually, Mark Walker. Lost a couple of positions going into Madgwick. So the leader's pulling away with Julian Majoub, leading in that pointy tail of Sunbeam Indianapolis. Then a bit of a gap. The Crit's in the mix. 1, 2, 3 is doing my cap. You look for the white helmet with the red stripe up the middle. That's Mark Walker. He's down in about 10. Right on board with him, back to pass the yellow and red helmet of San Kiwi. He's got more horsepower. Off he goes down to lap, and that's one of the 2 I promised you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you said, you can see the water tank sitting on the top of the engine there as he heads down. Has to brake a bit earlier, and we've seen this before where he has to actually get on the brakes quite early. Just a pair of rear brakes to slow it down into the slow bits, but it is so fast once he gets on acceleration, particularly out of the chicane. The speed as they come down the start-finish straight and down towards Madgwick. Yep, he's blasted past the Voiturette.
3 seconds.
Look at this,
down
he's
the race
going
leader.
around the outside of Duncan Pittaway in the Fiat, and yeah, a little point, but he's through. So Duncan Pittaway's lost a place, but the Fiat running well, a bit smoky, no surprise. That massive engine that's in there, but it's going all right for now.
How many litres would you like? 20-something, that'll do the job. Aero engine in the Fiat.
You're back on board with Mark Walker, who's been given away.
It's the battle for 3rd place, and no resistance at all from the Crit racer. That's Neil Goff on board, the dark red racer. He said, come on through. You know, I'm going to see what I can do about staying with you. But he knows in his heart of hearts the answer is he will not be able to stick with the Darrett 200 HP. I can still tell you Julian Majoub is leading this race by 6 seconds. And no resistance. 1, 2, nothing that Ben Collins could do. 2nd place has become 3rd, and likewise Neil Goff, 3rd place has become 4th, because they knew that Mark Walker would be a man in mission. They knew that he'd make a poor start. We didn't expect him to fall down outside the top 10, but he's been fighting back ever since that charge down to Madgwick.
But let's look back at this again, Bruce, because he had to go one way and then the other. He had to kind of find the gap.
Yeah, on the straight that's not straight, through the kink. He gets the kink, and he's already around the outside of Ben Collins. But Ben was very aware, which is extraordinary to be able to do so. As he went through the second part of lap, a little glance across, and he could sort of sense the trajectory that Mark Walker was going to be on in the Darrett as he gave chase. It is amazing. I mean, the difference between these 2 machines, you've got a 20-litre difference in engine size between the car that's leading and the one that's by 20,000 cc of engine capacity. And he is catching, look, he is getting closer, but I'm not sure. I mean, we've seen how he's been able to do it on the last lap several times. He is getting closer, and there is a car up ahead, isn't there? There certainly is, just trying to pick out who it is, and will they be able to catch it and pass it between Woodcote and the chicane? If not, it's going to be just in the wrong place. In the wrong place for who? That's the question. And it is passed just before the chicane, so Julian Majoub will be thinking, thank my lucky stars, surely I can't be attacked by Mark Walker. It was great to see that kept out the way. That was the Monarch. He's looking in the mirror. You can see he knows how rapidly Mark comes up this last bit, but this time he can celebrate, having missed out so fractionally last year in both races when he was passed by Mark on the final lap. This time he has held out. You know, a one-arm salute is good, 2 is a whole lot better, and the sun was low in Julian's face. You could see the beam gleam on his face as he pulled into Madgwick. And in behind, very close, Hughie Walker chasing to try and get past the Fiat. It's very tight indeed. Duncan Pitterby ends up going a little wide. Hughie Walker carrying a little more momentum. This is the battle for fifth place overall.
James Collins has missed out because he was fighting there as well for fifth place, and something's happened to James as he's come out the chicane. What a shame for him. He's dropped down a couple of places as a result, and Duncan Pitterway holds on, manages to get that fifth place with the Fiat. So, I do feel for James though. That was a little bit unfortunate, wasn't it?
Yeah, you do all the hard yards, but you know what? We just come to expect exciting racing with the SF Edge. You know, any car being driven when the driver's sitting on top looks a bit more exciting than when you're down low. You can see everything the drivers are doing, but to have one of your front runners fall outside the top 10 and yet still come back and then just end up short. Last year he didn't end up, he just came through to pit, but this year no doubt when we get down to Julien Majoub as the last of the finishers. Here's the Romano coming through, Julian Grimwade on board. They'll have had fun, they get to do it all over again on Sunday, but I can't wait. Julien Majoub will be popping and banging when he gets into the collection area. Fastest lap of the race, of course, the final lap, and of course it was Mark Walker. Closed down to 2.2 seconds in the end. What a great starter for them.
On pole, the Titan of Mike O'Brien alongside in the Alexis Ford of Peter Delaroche, and the Brabham of Andrew Hibbard on the far right from third. As the revs rise, the flag is waved, and we're underway for the Derek Bell Cup, and it's a poor getaway from our pole to Michael O'Brien. Peter Delaroche in the Alexis Ford with the best start from the front row. He'll be leading in the yellow Alexis Ford coming into turn one. It tightens up nearly 3 wide coming through turn one. Madgwick, Andrew Hibbard locking up into second, and who's going to emerge into third? Can Michael O'Brien recover after that poor start, Bruce? But for the lead, side by side, it was Delaroche, but squeezing through on the inside, it's nip and tuck, but Hibbard from third on the grid now takes the lead of this race. But will Delaroche try and fight back? Round the outside, sweeps round, he does, keeps his foot planted to the floor. Delaroche in the 75, Alexis Ford back into the lead. We've got a car spinning out wide, that's the 83, further back in the pack, finding the grass and into the shrubbery, along with a couple of other cars there as well. The 88 finding that was Richard Trott in the Brabham too. So a few cars off early doors. 20 minutes gone, already down to 19.
Yeah, well, that was quite something, but quite classic moment there, unfortunately, at St Mary's, when you're absolutely flat out through the second part of the corner. When you go to the right, if someone goes off in front of you, you often just follow in because sometimes your line is compromised. But that start from Peter Delaroche, he must have been schooled at Santa Pod Dragway. Phenomenal getaway, but the racecraft of Andrew Hibbard put his Brabham into the lead. But the first three covered by a rather large handkerchief as they go through the chicane for the first time.
Yeah, O'Brien, after that tough start in the Titan, managed to catch back up to the top two. So it's Hibbard who leads from Delaroche from O'Brien. But what will it be coming into Madgwick? Hibbard on the inside has to surrender. Delaroche retakes the lead back up in front. It's the Alexis that leads the way, and now our pole man in the Titan, O'Brien, trying to recover after his poor start as the sun glints down on these fantastic Formula 3 cars, and it's O'Brien back up into second. Will he try and make the move for the lead once again on Delaroche? Not on this occasion.
The Fritz Burkhardt car pulling off, but the lead battle enticing, and at the moment it's the Titan, the blue car with the red and white stripe up at the nose, with Michael O'Brien, our pole sitter, trying to go through, gets past the Alexis. Oh, a moment for car number 21. That's the other pigmade, that's Luca Ingvila's car. Meanwhile, as they say, back at the front of the race, it's nose to tail, and it's under a second between the first three runners as they come round towards the end of another lap.
It's as they started now in third, and this is what happened to the number 21 car further back in the pack, spinning round and round and round. Move, though, being done for second position as O'Brien cements the lead further back. It's Andrew Hibbard coming through on Delaroche. Hibbard in the Brabham making the move on the Alexis, so Delaroche down to third now. O'Brien in the Titan leads, coming through and out of the final chicane. Then comes Andrew Hibbard in the Brabham, and then in third now, Peter Delaroche in the Alexis. So the Porsche safety car out on track for an incident that has occurred, so the clock still continues to chime down as we will neutralise the race. The safety car will pick up the leader of this race, and they come through the final chicane now. They'll have to slow down and get in formation behind the safety car, and that will tighten up the gaps that O'Brien had just about made in the last few laps.
Now we have a red flag thrown, and so all the cars will come back round and they will form back on the grid.
On pole then on the far left, as you can see, it will be Michael O'Brien in the Titan Mark III. In second in the middle in the number 25 Brabham, that's Andrew Hibbard. And in third on the far right, in the yellow, Alexis Ford, mark 17, Peter Delaroche. And we are back racing. Another poor start from our pole sitter, Michael O'Brien. Even start from Hibbard and Delaroche. Who's going to come out and top into turn one? It's going to be Andrew Hibbard, with Delaroche squeezing round the outside. The yellow flag is out. No overtaking through Magic. So that cements Hibbard's position out in front. Delaroche in second. But another poor start from Michael O'Brien. You can see there in the number 8 now trying to carve his way back through the field. And they've got the march of Andy Jarvis also scrapping at the sharp end of the field.
So those waved yellow flags were no friend to Michael O'Brien. They meant he couldn't try and regain his position and into the lead of the race. A first change of the race since leaving the line. It's Peter Delaroche in the yellow, Alexis into the lead. Wonderful sweeping stretch of circuit through St Mary's now as the pack arrives at the first corner, up into third place. So he went down to fifth, from pole position back into third place comes Michael O'Brien. So the trio that dominated the first part of the race, trying to do it all over again, and leading the rest of it is the blue march of Andy Jarvis in fourth place. But that first three, I can't believe how quickly they pulled clear.
Yeah, Andy Jarvis involved in a great scrap with the Lotus of Enrico Spagliari just behind this battle for the lead. And straight away, Michael O'Brien with the slipstream. We know it's all about slipstreaming around here. Not one pass, but two. O'Brien back into the lead of this race. Delaroche in second. Hibbard now down to third. It is as they started when we initially got racing out of the final chicane and across the line with 6.5 minutes remaining. It's the Titan that leads, the Alexis that leads the Brabham, but slipstream's so key to make a move, and it's Hibbard who tries to tuck in behind the Alexis of Delaroche in front to make a move, but they're not going to be able to do so with that car still stranded on the exit. Indeed, Delaroche running out wide, dipping a tyre onto the grass. Indeed, the yellows are in, so you're free and able to make a move. Delaroche trying to get back in front of Hibbard, but so far Hibbard holding fort. Car off though. Further back in the pack, nice battle developing between the 111 car of Ross Driver and the Merlin, and the Chevron of Steve Nichols, fighting over 8th spot at the moment. Couple of tenths between those cars. Indeed, the number 63 of Widmer has just managed to make up a position too. But this is the battle for the last two steps on the podium with just 3 minutes remaining. It's Delaroche in front or round the outside. Hibbard takes the inside tighter line. Delaroche in the all-yellow, Alexis holding on round the outside, but Hibbard in the Brabham better drive out of the corner, tighter line, keeps it neat and tidy in front for now, but that gives Delaroche all the tow he needs, almost pushing Hibbard along down the straight. Side by side we go. The Brabham in the number 25, the number 75, the Alexis, round the outside. Who will blink first? They get oh so close. Brilliant precision racing from Hibbard and Delaroche, and it's Delaroche who comes out on top out of the final chicane, but he has a rough exit, gets onto the dirt on the exit, coming down the main straight, and that gives Hibbard the advantage. Here we go then, across the line, back into Madwick. Advantage, Hibbard.
Nip and tuck, tuck and nip. This is a real cat and dog struggle over second place. Race leader Michael O'Brien in the Titan, 4.9, let's call it 5 seconds between friends, pulling clear on his own, but this one is going to go all the way to the end. We've got 2 minutes remaining, so it's this lap and one further lap. And don't forget the opening race of the day, the race leader thought he just timed it to perfection to take the checkered flag, but had about half a second under the allotted 20 minutes, and then he had a real tussle on the final lap in the Parnell Cup. But here and now, this is a cracking race, and certainly Peter Delaroche doesn't mind hooking a wheel on the grass here and there. At the very point that Andrew Hibbard went through into second place last time, quick into Lavant doesn't mean quick out of the second part, and then you're going to struggle up the Lavant straight. But this time, it's the Alexis on the inside and forcing to go to the outside. There comes the kink, but the Brabham's moved across to hold down second place. But now the slipstream is the car behind. It's the Alexis and Peter Delaroche. But what does Andrew Hibbard do? Says if you're coming past, only on the outside.
Fantastic battle this over second and third in this Derek Bell Cup for 1000cc Formula 3 cars. Further back in the pack, the march of Andy Jarvis, I think, has had a problem. It's absolutely plummeted down the order all the way down to 20th spot and continues to fall down the field. So trouble there for the march of Jarvis. Back out in front though, on the main straight we go. We'll get one more lap of racing before the checkered flag comes out. It's Michael O'Brien in the Titan who has over 7 seconds to gap out in front, and then this fierce battle for second and third. At the moment it's Andrew Hibbard in the number 25 in second, just a nose ahead in the Brabham, Alexis of Peter Delaroche. Roche in the yellow 75 trying to find a way. The sun glints down off of these Formula 3 cars, and it's Hibbard who manages to keep his advantage so far, but one small mistake and you will find yourself behind your rival. The toe, so crucial here, the momentum, the rhythm, that needs to be perfect in order to make the move around this brilliant but can be tricky Goodwood circuit. And at the moment it's still Hibbard who holds on to second. De La Roche just tucking in behind for now.
Well, this is his last opportunity. The race leader, Michael Audrain, coming down for the final time to the chicane. He pulled 8 seconds clear. He's going through Woodcote, sweeping through. No trouble for him in the Titan. But the question is, sometimes it's better to be the chasing driver, the one that gets the slipstream on the final lap. It used to be no one wanted to lead before Monza got its chicanes. No problem for our race leader, Michael Audrain. He'll come through. He's not a race leader, he's a race winner now. That's the Derek Bell Cup. Who's going to come through in second place? It's going to be the Brabham, surely, of Andrew Hibbard. But we've seen drag races to the line. It's very close. 1 car length between him and the Alexis and Peter De La Roche. They will have enjoyed that.
What a battle to the line. A race interrupted by a red flag, but when we got going again, Hibbard and De La Roche delivering us some spectacular racing. But all the plaudits go to Michael Audrain, who takes the win for the Derek Bell Cup in his Titan. We're still racing further back in the pack, though. It's still all to play for. This, the 21 car, Big Willa, out of the points at the moment behind this gaggle of cars. Behind the 9, that's the Merlin in front. And then this for the Pride and the final points paying position to the line. It's going to be nip and tuck, but nobody quite getting alongside out of the final corner as they all take the checkered flag.
See what happens in this second part of the Hailwood Trophy and the Sheen Trophy. All set to go racing once again. You're watching Glenn English on the left, Dan Jackson in the middle, and it's a good start from Glenn and Dan. Pretty even start, I thought, from both of those front row men. It's Dan Jackson who's got the initial lead, but watch out for Glenn English, number 25. He's so brave, particularly through this first corner Madwin. Sometimes somebody hand up, bit of a problem. And in fact, it's Phil Atkinson. So there I am saying it was going to be Glenn. Phil Atkinson, who won yesterday, surges through.
Yeah, oh no.
That is bad news. Andy Hornby.
That's Andy Hornby. Obviously, he's won it the last couple of years here and going so well. Was fourth on the grid, and he's had a problem which is very unlike them.
He was hoping for a hat-trick of victories in the Sheen Trophy. That isn't going to happen for Andy Hornby. What a shame for him. I do feel for him on the opening lap. But Phil Atkinson, who won yesterday, what a good start that was from him, because he wasn't actually the best off the line, but he dealt with Madwin brilliantly.
Yeah, I think he made a real difference in really attacking that warm-up lap to get some heat, because that's where he really lost out to Glenn English yesterday. And just behind them, you can see number 51 and number 68. That's the 2 4-strokes of Graham Higlett and Michael Russell. And there's Michael Russell already, number 65 in the Hadley Honda coming round.
Yeah, as you mentioned, that we've got to keep an eye out on him because he has got good pace as long as the bike's working well, which he didn't yesterday. As you say, Michael Russell there and Graham Higlett, they are effectively going to be fighting at this stage for winning the Sheen Trophy for the bigger 4-stroke, up to the 750cc bikes, the earlier bikes of period. They've got good straights, speed down the straights, a little bit slower through the corners because they've got a bit more weight to play with, but they're still actually, it's amazingly how close the 2-strokes and the 4-strokes around Goodwood are. Now up front, Phil Atkinson coming under a bit more pressure from Glenn English. And Glenn, you see it down as tight as possible. He's going to have a go here. There's more good battles going on further down, as you can see, as they all head along. Just saw Jamie O'Brien, number 74, having a good run on his 350, and meanwhile it's still a big battle for Michael Rutter, moving up the order. He's up to 11th place now, so he's fighting to get into the top 10.
Yeah, and Rob Whitty as well, just ahead of him. So remember, they've come from the 11th row of the grid. They're 10th and 11th. That's the men we're looking at. Again, another really
Look at this, the battle in the Sheen Trophy, and that is a switch around because Russell has managed to get past Higlett, but they are very, very close indeed. Michael Russell has just taken the advantage briefly over Graham Higlett, but that's not much between them.
No, there isn't. And Graham Higlett, he's on a Rob North chassis, the 1971 Triumph 750, whereas number 68, Michael Russell, he's on a bit of a bit, so he bought it, made it out of parts. It's got a Manx chassis with a Norton Commando engine in it, so a 1972 Commando engine, so a real nice motorcycle. He said he's really enjoying it, but it's down on power.
So Rutter coming through here, making some progress, I believe. Michael Rutter Yeah, actually getting past Whitty, so that's a battle between two very similar bikes.
Yeah, he did really well there. Proper scrappy. You can see he's managed to put 2 or 3 bikes between them there today. So that's a really...
Oh no! Oh look!
Oh.
Off goes English. Glenn English, the man fighting for the lead, and he's got off in the grass. He's got. Yeah, I think he's dropped down to 3rd.
Let's have a little look. There's a big bump on the left. Is he going to lose the front? Oh, he just seems to run out of road. He's got in a little bit too hot, and luckily the grass is dry. He does very well though. It's very easy to make a mistake, panic there, and he does incredibly well. Gets it back on, and where's he rejoined?
I think he's in 3rd still. Actually, I think he's up there. Yeah, look, he's ahead.
Yes, he is. So he's 3rd. So Jackson's ahead of him. That certainly takes the pressure off your leader Atkinson.
So you still got this wonderful battle, number 68 versus number 51, and that is for victory in what is known as the Sheen Trophy, named after the great Barry Sheen, the 2-time world champion. And then you've got these two, which are also Sheen cars, Sheen bikes there with the 750cc motors. They've been moving up from the back of the field because they were non-finishers yesterday, and they're now up into 6th and 7th places. That's a fantastic move. We have a red flag, so there has been an incident out on track somewhere. We haven't seen what's happened yet, but yeah, so the race is being brought to a halt. There are 3 laps remaining, and it is bike 74, which we were watching. Jamie O'Brien, he was going well in the top 10. He was beginning to come under a bit more pressure from those behind. So it is he that has gone off apparently. So the bike's being brought back to the pit lane so that the marshals can immediately attend the situation, of course.
The revs rise and we get ready to go racing. The Parnell Cup is underway. A poor start from Nigel Batchelor, who bogs down and gets absolutely swamped, but a good start from our pole sitter Will Nuttall. But John Muir's going to try and sweep round the outside. Can Muir and the other Cooper take the lead going into Madrid? I think he has done. Muir from 2nd on the grid leads this race, but Nuttall slots in right behind. He's not going to give this one up. Looks to the inside as they now approach Ford Water. Can he get alongside? No. Tucks in behind. Your leads, but a poor start, Bruce, from Nigel Batchelor on the front row as well.
Well, on the formation lap, he also had a little bit of a problem going away. And talk about going away, the first 2 have really made their escape. John Muir from 2nd on the grid into the lead from Will Nuttall now. Of course, Will will be positioning his Cooper in behind through St Mary's to go into the compression. The first overtaking place for him will be into Lavender. He's already made his played his bid. He's going down the inside, but not quite close enough. John Muir's going faster because the outside line is a bigger sweep into that double apex corner. A look in the middle of the pack, just out inside of this picture. It should be the Keith that was so poor away from the line from Nigel Batchelor. That will be going back towards the front, but at the best of the EIRAs is going really well. Julian Wilton, car number 7, has vaulted up the order into about 5th position from, I think, 11th on the grid.
Yeah, and you can see up front, though, the whites of John Muir's eyes. The visor completely transparent as he makes his way. You can see how hard they have to work these cars. The elbows moving side to side as they now come into the braking zone for the final chicane to end lap 1 of the Parnell Cup. It's a 20-minute race. We're already down to 18 minutes and 22 seconds, but across the line then, John Muir will lead, but it's going to be side by side with Will Nuttall. What can Will Nuttall do? Down the inside, late on the brakes, going to make the move. Can Muir hang it out round the outside? He's going to have the wider line. Can Nuttall do anything about it? Not on that occasion, but Nuttall is not giving this one up without a fight. Back onto the next straight, side by side. Nuttall sweeps round the outside, tries to make a move, still not far enough in front, has to settle behind for now, but this is going for hammer and tongs for the lead of this race right from the get-go.
When they complete this, the 3rd lap, the tail out on the edge of the exit of the chicane from John Muir. Again, a better exit from the chicane from the chasing Will Nuttall. The gap between them on the line, 69 thousandths of a second.
Side by side, coming through Madrid. Muir on the inside, Nuttall on the outside. You can see just how hard he's working the steering wheel. He had the outside line. He tries to tuck back into the inside. John Muir is the leading car, but they're now side by side. Can Nuttall make the move? He might just have a nose in front as they make their way down the straight. Nuttall's going to have the inside now. They're so close to touching wheels. It's absolutely precision racing for the lead of the race. The first race to kick off proceedings here at Sunday's 81st Goodwood members meeting of the Parnell Cup. And my oh my, are we being treated for a race. John Muir holding out at the moment to keep that lead in the Cooper, but Will Nuttall is side by side with him and has been for the majority of this lap so far. But Muir ahead for the moment.
they're separated by a whole tenth of a second, Harry. I know it's a shock, it's been under that before, we've been talking thousandths of a second, and again punching out of chicane, and this time Will Nuttall actually can clock a lap with the lead.
What an exit for Will Nuttall out of the chicane, side by side, more grunt, more power, just carrying more momentum, and now Will Nuttall into Madrick to kickstart the next lap, takes the lead of this race. Will Nuttall in the Cooper, who started on pole, lost out early doors to John Muir, but my oh my, have we absolutely been treated to a scrap. This was the move, side by side, a little look to the left-hand side in his mirror for Will Nuttall, just to see where Ure was, if Ure was going to try and squeeze him. No, Nuttall ahead of Ure still. Ure, though, hasn't let him completely out of his sight, but they are in a race of their own, because Ian Nuttall is 20-plus seconds behind these two in third. Then Nigel Batchelor, I think, will be quite pleased to have recovered from his poor start in the Keith climax. Absolutely plummeted through the field off the start and was surrounded and found himself in the mid-pack. Has now clawed himself back up to fourth. Spinner for Julian Wilton in the ERA. A lovely 360, makes his way back round, and it's almost like nothing happened.
Was contained. He was on the grass on the way in. He was trying to go past the enormous Bentley Bonato Hassan Special. Oh my word, heart rate said to be over 100 beats a minute in that particular moment, but as he approached Madrick with the image of just a tyre wall and a grass verge in front of him, three cars coming in behind, and look, somehow, maybe more by luck than judgment, Julian Wilton managed to contain the car within the tarmac once he got back on.
Yeah, getting a good lesson from Nuttall in front of him, and he's actually been able to really close up on Nuttall, but John Muir in the number 6. Cooper just trying to get past that beast of the Maserati 8CM. Just gets a little bit tucked up behind, but then makes it through. So the leaders make their way through on the traffic. Still around a couple of seconds the gap, so all about evening out at the end of it. Will Nuttall holding on for the time being, but still pushing that Cooper to the absolute maximum. But will Nuttall get over the line just as it clocks down, or will we get another lap? We're not too sure on that one. I think he did take the checkered flag. So Will Nuttall, as the clock came down to 0, takes the checkered flag, makes it 3 Parnell Cup victories in the Cooper. Will Nuttall takes victory in the first race of Sunday's 81st members meeting. John Muir put up a sterling effort in the early laps of this race.
Okay.
Well, we initially... So I'll tell you what, we might have another racing lap, actually, because on our timing screens it said checkered flag, and now it's gone back to green flag. So we might he might have just got over the line before they counted down to 0. Either way, we'll keep you up to date, but Will Nuttall hasn't lifted off the pace.
And more to the point, John Muir definitely hasn't lifted off the pace. The recovering Julian Wilton, who's had a little bit too much... incident in this race, a spin and a clash. The checkered flag is there. I reckon they'd have got past. I was a bit surprised to say checkered flag on the screen, but the drivers have not seen the checkered flag, so what they do, they have to race on, and what they really don't want is 3 cars across the track in front of them. And so for Will Nuttall, who'd done all the hard work the first half of the race, he got through into the lead, and now around the outside goes John Muir, but the Lavant straight is anything but straight. There's a little bit of constriction there, and
Muir's going to speed around the outside. Is he going to be able to do this on the final lap? Traffic holding back Will Nuttall. Muir gets onto the grass, the rear end sticks out, he manages to keep control. Will Nuttall, could he have lost it on the final lap? The checkered flag didn't come out. It will now be out and waving. Will Nuttall will take the flag and will take the win. But he nearly lost it at the end. Half a second between Will Nuttall and John Muir. The two Coopers fighting it out all race long. But in the end, it is 3 Parnell Cup wins for Will Nuttall. John Muir second. It's a Cooper 1-2. Ian Nuttall makes it a Cooper 1-2-3 in third. Craig Davies sharing that car with Darren Turner in the red Mustang. On the far left, as you see it, will start on pole. Alongside him, Martin Whittaker Jr. Then it'll be Mark Matheson. Good start, though, from Davies and Matheson. Poor start from Whittaker in the middle. It looks like everybody just about got away. A slow starter at the back, but through into turn 1 as they make their way through Madrick. Davies with the initial grunt off the line in the all-red number 9 car. The pole sitter holding force at the top. Then comes Mark Matheson behind in the 116. Whittaker Jr. plummeting down the order after a poor start, and as they make their way through, trying to find every inch of track, it is Davies who leads the way.
Yeah, good. There's a bit of jostling and a bit of door rubbing in the middle of the pack there, but everyone's got a lovely clean start, an incredible view from our drone out there at St Mary's. A little bit of door rubbing. They're just giving each other some room. Remember, this is a 45-minute race, so you can't win the race on the first lap, but you can certainly lose it.
The 166 car going round the outside. That will be James Storm making his way through further back in the pack, battling over 5th position in that Mustang. I think just about winning out on that occasion, but Mustangs everywhere you look. And this on board with one of our cars, possibly the number 56 car further back in the pack. Anthony Yule on in the car for that one. Will hand over to Jamie Chadwick later on, but coming to the end then of lap 1 around this Goodwood track for the Ken Miles Cup, the all Mustang race, and off in the background one of the cars fighting the grass, but across the line to lead it will be Davies, then comes Shepherd, then Whittaker, who managed to stabilise in third then after a tough start. Priu and Taylor, that car being driven by Andy Priu making the start, and the number 99 rounding up the top 4. Alex Buncombe holding on to a top 5 position. Poor start for Mark Matheson.
The safety car has come out, so I wonder if it is because of that stranded Ford in what looked like, hard to see, it looked like one of the early corners, either at the exit of Madwick, but safety car is out to slow the pack down in order to recover the car. But we're going to have a little look at the start, Harry, and look at that from the outside there. Was that a false start? Looked all right from my point of view. It's hard with the flags because you're keeping an eye on the flag, and when it drops, that's when you can be released. And look at the tyre smoke pouring off the back of these cars, and there we are.
That's as close as you want to get.
I think the mirrors might have been brushed in ever so slightly. The 49, the Andrew Jordan and Whittaker Jr. car, which sank a little bit through the pack. But here was that overtake down the inside into turn 1 by Fred Shepherd in the number 47. Lovely move. Fred leading the way, and he's on the gas already. Look at him working nice and hard. Some tyre smoke coming out the back there on the exit of the chicane. Gets a pretty decent start as he's got a nice little gap already over the car behind, 0.7 of a second to be precise, and a decent start. But look out for Priu in the background in the yellow Mustang, having a little look all over the back of the number 9 in second place. Is he going to get a decent run? He's going to head down out of Madrick into Fordwater now. Not really an overtaking spot. If you're brave enough, though, and we've seen it several times over the weekend, Gordon Shenton springs to mind, you can dive down the inside of St Mary's, but it just looks like Priu is a little bit too far away to try a move like that at the moment.
Oh, look at how much he controls the slide in every corner for Andy Priu in the all-yellow 99 Mustang, chasing down the number 9 red Mustang of Davies, looking to the left, looking to the right. Which way does Priu pick? In the end, he has to settle to stay behind. Davies placing that Mustang in all the right places, and while they do battle, that's allowing Fred Shepherd to eke out the gap up the road in the lead, but not by much. They're still all within a couple of seconds of each other. Alex Buncombe a couple of seconds behind this gaggle in 4th, and he himself is involved in a nice battle with Martin Whittaker for that top 5 position as it currently stands. Side-by-side action in these early stages. It's Fred Shepherd who leads after the safety car. Davies in that red Mustang started on pole, just about keeping in front of Andy Priu, but Priu with the stepping out right on the rear of that Mustang out of the final corner, coming across the line. We'll have the outside coming into Madrick. Will he dive down the inside right at the last minute? Yes, he will. Priu to the inside, but he's not close enough in front to make it work on that occasion. As they come across the line, 6 laps completed in the yellow Mustang. Sandy Priu side by side, coming through Madrick. Can he hold it? The Mustangs door to door, stepping out, sliding the rear for Davies, keeping his foot in it, holding forth. So much pressure going up against a driver like Andy Priu. Priu in the yellow 99 Mustang, bringing Alex Buncombe in the 15 along for the ride as well.
Are we going to get 3 wide, Harry? Looks, just so close. Sorry, going into St Mary's there. Buncombe goes, thank you very much. The typical junior karting style. Andy Priu opened the door, and Alex Alex Buncombe said, thank you very much, I'll come through too. And that has now allowed the rest of them behind, Whittaker Jr., Thorpe and even Brabham to try and close the gap to this battle.
Let's take a look. This is a little bit further in the pack. A little bit of a moment for one of the Mustangs further back. Just trying to make out who that is. Might have been Davenport, possibly. He's just lost a position down to 11th. Right, that battle has been settled for the time being. It's still Fred Shepherd out in front by almost 2.5 seconds. Leading is Fred Shepherd, then it's Andy Priaulx in the yellow 99 Mustang, and there's going to be a little bit of traffic there. The 184 having to clatter the barriers of Van Thiel to get out of the way. No one biting to the pit lane just yet.
So our first few cars are entering pit lane to make their driver changes.
And the top 7 in this race at the moment have yet to pit as we try and jostle for position here. 3 Mustangs going almost 3 wide, headed up by the 777 Mustang of Guy Zeiser.
And this looks like a bit of swapsies there, and contact for our race leader. Oh. And that is the thing, we will see the race leader come across quite a bit of traffic, and as we've seen in previous races throughout today and here at Goodwood in the previous years, traffic can really play a part.
And getting up to 133 on the straight. Andrew Jordan setting the timings alight. He's absolutely a man on a mission, currently in 7th. Second highest of the pit stoppers. We're yet to see, though, Alex Buncombe, who hands over to Taffender, where they will appear in that number 15 car. They were in the battle for 2nd and 3rd. How quickly can Andrew Jordan make his way through the pack? Can he jump the Buncombe-Taffender car? He can. He absolutely can. Here we go then, 24 minutes left of this race, and Fred Shepherd has cried enough, and he comes into the pits, waiting to hand that 47 car over to Timo Bernhard. Andy Priaulx still leads this race in the yellow Mustang. That is your leader there. Has yet to come in, decided no, he's going to have another lap around. 17 laps completed. Then comes the number 45 car. That has got Luke Davenport at the wheel. Starts way back in 19th, holding out for as long as he can before he hands it over to another British touring car ace, Matt Neal, waiting in the pits. Andy Priaulx into the pits then. The house captain for the Albany team this year, Albany House this year. Oh, and there's a little bit of damage to that front right headlight. One of the mechanics just seeing to it and knocking it off a little bit more. And now I think it's been fixed back on. But Andy Priaulx then with a mighty stint and a change to the leader. He's done it just about. Andrew Jordan takes the lead of this race on the this lap around. Fantastic work, 18 laps. Andrew Jordan has been piling in the sector time since he took over the car from Whittaker. Priaulx handed that car over in the lead. Taylor back in it, feeds out in 2nd, then 3rd place now Timo Bernhard. Marino, Frankie T, and they're right into the back, almost clouting the rear of Andy Priaulx. Gordon Shedden, I think we're hearing he's already hit him once this lap, so Shedden is not waiting around. Andy Priaulx was in that car, it's now Taylor in that car. This is the battle currently for 4th and 5th. It's Andrew Jordan who leads this race from Timo Bernhard. Then comes Darren Turner, and it's another hit onto the grass, sliding left and right into the braking zone. Can he hold it? Can he get the position? Yes, he can. Superb work from the 166 car, fighting it out in that run-up with Gordon Shedden at the wheel. Oh, and out of the final corner as well. There's the Brabham car we've been talking about, fighting as well now with Taylor. Brabham's still at the wheel of that car, making his way through the right-hander. So there's been a few hits we're hearing. Shedden hitting into the back the first time around, coming through into the chicane, followed by a couple more.
Well, and look at that oversteer on the exit. Gordon Shedden, though, take a bow into Woodcote. RIP to the 150-metre board sign.
And we've got a car in the wall at the chicane. It's the number 14 Mustang with Ash Sutton at the wheel, who's found the chicane, facing the wrong way. Yellow flag, everyone being instructed to straight line it, and that is surely going to bring out, well, possibly a safety car. Double yellows. This is the number 116 car on board, getting oh so close. Shedden at the wheel, absolutely wringing the neck off that Mustang. Through he goes. I think we're about to see how it happened coming into the chicane. There was a lot of rear end on that Mustang.
Yeah, and I think it has moved. Let's have a look. The barriers across. And I mean, the Daffodils got a great view, didn't they? Until they didn't, unfortunately. Scattered now all over the floor, and yeah, that has moved the barrier, and just managing to miss. There was the number 70 car.
79, I think it was Marino
79 car
at the wheel of that.
And we have got the safety car out, which I expected, because they were all, of course, having to cut the chicane. The marshals looking out the commentary box window.
8 minutes of flat-out Mustang racing for the Ken Miles Cup, celebrating the 60th anniversary of the Ford Mustang. One stricken Mustang in the background, the remainder making their way down the start-finish straight now, and it's a good start, good restart for Andrew Jordan, who's got a jump on the field. Darren Turner and Gordon Shedden neck and neck coming through Madrick. It's Gordon Shedden chasing down Darren Turner. Then comes the Brundle car as well, which is just tucked in behind the red Mustang behind, but this is the closest battle between second and third. Brundle making his way through further back up into fourth, getting through on a little bit of traffic, so it's Jordan who leads. Then comes Darren Turner, then Gordon Shedden, then Brundle. That is the top four as it currently stands. This battle just behind, with Timo Bernhard in the 47, currently in fifth, battling with Taylor in the yellow 99 car. That is the battle for fifth and sixth that currently stands. But this is second and third on the road at the moment. Darren Turner ahead of the number 9, Shedden behind in the 166, not afraid to do a bit of bump drafting in these Mustangs and get his way through. And while they do battle, that will bring Brundle into the fight for the final step on the podium.
Yeah, it certainly will. And Rob Huff, of course, is making his way back up towards the front end of the field. Got a few more cars to try and navigate first, but what a start from Andrew Jordan. He even casually kicked up some dust on the exit there, just looking out of the commentary box window. Got a decent gap, but Darren Turner's managed to sort himself out now, because he has pulled ever so slightly a gap from Gordon Shedden. But Alex Brundle in the Mustang has just set a great middle sector, and he could, if he keeps up this pace, be quite quickly on the back of Gordon Shedden. You don't know where to look at the moment, do we? There's battles all along.
Here comes Huff down the inside. That'll become the outside. Can the number 19 of Ingram hold it round? There's a little bit of contact door to door between the two Mustangs. You can just see how hard they are fighting the wheels of these Mustangs. It's so tight at the moment.
Who needs to go to the gym when you can get behind a wheel of a Mustang here around Goodwood, as Tom is covering the inside there as they're heading down this very long, slight uphill straight. Is Rob Huff going to brave it round the outside? Who's latest on the brakes? It looks like it could be Rob Huff. Tom Ingram kicking up some grass. Let's have a look how they are at the effort. Then a great move by Rob Huff, who sails past Tom Ingram round the outside of Woodcote.
And I think it might be, is it the 116? It will be Gordon Shedden coming to a halt. Is it a mechanical issue? He's pulled right off the line. Shedden, who was in third place in this race, that's going to promote Brundle up into the podium places. Rob Huff continues to make waves. He's now just behind Franchitti and looking to make a move. And then you've got the all-yellow 99 Mustang of Taylor right there. This is the battle for 6th, 7th and 8th. The number 6 car is the one that contains Dario Franchitti, the multiple IndyCar champion. Dario trying to hang it round the outside. Rob Huff coming at him with all he's got. Franchitti wringing the neck, the rear end steps out of that Mustang. Rob Huff tucks in behind, tries to get a little bit of toe as they head up the hill through the slight left-hand kink. Who's going to come out on top of this one? Huff has got his elbows out and is ready to make the move. Huff through on Franchitti, gets the move done. Can he control it under braking? Yes, he can. But Franchitti won't give this one up without a fight, but he has to settle behind as it's one by one through the chicane. There's the 49 car. That is your leader, Andrew Jordan, who took over from Martin Whittaker, who did such a great stint at the beginning of this race. Handed it over to Andrew Jordan out of the chicane. The rear end steps out. You can see the fist out of the window. The winner of the Ken Miles Cup, it's Andrew Jordan and Martin Whittaker who take the win. And it looks like it will go the way of Alex Brundle as David Brabham, who gets second place to the line, will be in third. Just pits at the very end. It will be the Ben and Hill car, the number 66, Darren Turner, falling off the podium at the very end into fourth. Taylor mid. Huff keeps in front of Franchitti in the top six. Franchitti seventh, Ingram eighth. Then it's Timo Bernhard with an issue right at the very end. Fell down to ninth and to the line in 10th in the number 79 Mustang will be Marino Franchitti.
Let's wait, the power's on, away we go, and it's a good start from pole position, and it's a poor start from James Thorpe in the Vittorini, but Alex Buncombe from pole is soaring into the lead. Miles Griffiths is following him to second place. You're on board with Nigel Greensall now in the little Lotus as he tries to take advantage, and somebody just ran wide outside of him there. Whether that's going to come back, I think it has come back, yes, so that's all right. Sorry, for some, he's had a good start because that's number 7 and he started down in 11th place. He's got away well.
Yeah, just looking on board with Nigel Greensall. Beautiful precision through the first two corners, the first part of Mattrick and the second, but then the grunt as the rest of the field came past on the rush down towards Fordwater. Up front, though, Miles Griffiths in the white and black TBRs keeping our pole sitter, Alex Buncombe, very, very honest indeed. Going to look up the inside, into Mattrick, backs out of that.
I'll tell you what, though, third place, Murray Shepherd has come from the third row. That's pretty impressive. He was 8th on the grid, and Murray Shepherd now running in third position.
Yeah, I think what happened with James Thorpe struggling to get away in the dark red Vittorini from the outside front row, it bunched everyone up behind, so you get winners and losers in that. If the car in front suddenly blocking you, you've got to back off a little bit. Nigel Greensall hasn't got the power, but when he gets down to the next corner, which is Woodcote, he should close in onto the yellow tail of that Vittorini. That's much heavier, much more grunt, but therefore has to be doing the braking earlier. And look how neat and precise Nigel Greensall is working the wheel of that little Elan.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that to see what he can do in that little group. There's Mike Whittaker. Mike sort of got maybe a bit held up, I don't know, because he didn't quite make the start either that he was hoping for. The rest of them coming over the line. See, Ollie Bryant is actually just behind Greensall as well. Here's a replay in the little Lotus. Let's have a look at this, Bruce, and see how it went, because we did see that rather poor getaway from James Thorpe on the left there.
Yes, and those behind had to really adjust their line, and certainly one of them went past. It was the other Vittorini. It was Adrian Wilmot, tire smoking away, but then it was back to staying on the inside line. Now, look at this moment. It looks though great positioning for Nigel Greensall, but alas, as if pulled by elastic rope, the AC Cobra in front pulled way clear as they rush down to Fordwater. As we get the first two now starting to make their break, Alex Buncombe is pushing on, but second place Miles Griffiths, and then comes Murray Shepherd. Adrian Wilmot will want to get fast. He's faster, was faster in his practice, and so Mike Whittaker in the blue metallic TVR also wants to get past that AC Cobra. So this Griffiths TVR. Now this is a replay of the move where the Porsche with Ollie Bryant decided outside good, inside better. So took the inside line, moved past Nigel Greensall, got the move done into Fordwater, and at that point you think, oh, nothing much to do except we've got St Mary's coming next.
We do indeed, but they're still trying to catch up. They're not far off. Bill Shepherd in the very powerful AC Cobra. You can see they're trying to close that gap, largely control, and there is an opportunity they might both gain a few more places before the end of this race. Isn't it beautiful to see the E-types up against the AC Cobra? So of course the AC had British heritage, and that the AC was a British company, but the Cobra with American power. The Jaguars, of course, all put together in the UK. Never quite the same horsepower that the Cobra has created.
No, but they always had the handling. AC Cobras took a while to get the handling coming good, and you can see that handling being used very well indeed by Richard Mines to get the poise and move on up in the treble one. E-Type. But then, of course, when they exit the chicane, left the door wide open there, but I didn't expect the AC Cobra to dive to the inside. The grunt from the Cobra should propel it at least alongside on the start-finish straight, and tucked it behind William Paul. Fancying some action. That was a little too close.
You're right, though. He's got the straight line speed, and he's going to have a go at getting back. But with that inside line, yeah, Richard Mines has done well there. He's just held the inside line through the corner. No doubt about it, the E-Type's got that little bit more speed through the corner, but they're now coming up to another section which is pretty much flat out. Interestingly, the next right-hander, in some cars it is completely flat out. Some of the really powerful machines, you do have to brake a little. You did see the brake lights coming on there on the E-Type. Now, what a... Oh, change of lead. We've just seen a mistake from Alex Buncombe, and this is what happened. Miles Griffiths nipped through. Miles Griffiths has just got through. We've got the spin as well for the number 78. E-Type, whoa, round and round.
Well, has someone dropped some liquid? That was William Paul going for a move. Now, was this because of bank markers and just a misread from our race leader, Alex Buncombe? Did he have to adjust his line? He recovered remarkably well. He's still in second place. When you look across a driver's CV, lots of drivers win races, but very few win championships, and even fewer win multiple championships. So Nigel Greensall certainly has had an illustrious career thus far.
Yeah, and over 100 lap records in his career as well. Not that they all still hold, of course, but he's taken... Look at this, he's got alongside. He's got alongside Ollie Bryant, giving Ollie a little wave, but I'm not sure he will still be in front. Let's see. Yeah, and he's got position at the moment. He's now checking his mirrors. OK, Ollie, where are you going? Oh, he's actually waving him, is he, or not? No, he's holding him off at this point. Yeah, he's got the place. He's got the place. Little lock up on the right front, but he's still sorting it.
Oh, that's a classic moment to make a mistake, isn't it? When you just manage to get past and you're just looking in your mirrors, maybe a yard or two past your natural point of retardation into someone like Woodcock. But it was a great move. It was opportunistic.
Yeah, and it was also because the Cobra actually was slightly in the way, I think, for Ollie Bryant, and that gave him an opportunity, didn't it?
Yeah, because through the second part of lap, and that's the point at which, with the better handling, the smaller cars should be trying to eke an advantage. Just turning off ahead of the chicane is car number two.
Number two,
beg your pardon.
Yeah,
Rob Jarvis and the Nick Jarvis owned car.
Now they're doing some lapping. Oh, the E-Type goes off. That was a moment ago. Sorry, that E-Type went off. That they were just lapping. That was McFadden who made a little error. Thankfully, didn't get tied up. So still going well there, Ollie Bryant. But Ollie Bryant behind Nigel Greensall, but both of them still trying to take on Bill Shepherd. Now, this is where things do vary a little bit, because if you have to end up lifting... Oh, he's down the inside. Oh, he's having a little look. Oh, my goodness, that was tight.
What inside, Ben? The door was closed, but lock up in from the AC Cobra. Bill Shepherd will be getting a little warm under the collar now. And again, the better exit from the second and the 11th corners, but...
It's cost him a bit of speed.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened, I think, to Ollie Bryant last time. He had to lift a fraction on exit because of what the AC Cobra was doing, and now he's got the straight line speed that Nigel had last time. And I think, let's have a look. Oh, no, he's just managed to get into the first apex just ahead. He's still in front.
And Bill Shepherd, he has been past... Earlier in the lap, he was starting to really understeer. The front washing away into St Mary's, and Ollie Bryant may have noticed that. 2 cars going past, because the Lotus sedan is having a crack as well.
Yeah, he's done it. Nigel Greensall's got past the AC Cobra as well, as you said, but it is Ollie Bryant who has taken the advantage. So let's have a look at how this all happened then. OK, so actually, this was all getting very, very tight. Ollie Bryant was at the back of the group, so Nigel Greensall goes up the inside of the AC Cobra, and then it's all sort of turned around the other way. Back with the leader, still lapping some of the slower cars.
It is just great to have 2 cars that look so incredibly different, trading lap times to within a tenth of a second. They're pulled way clear of the best of the rest. That's Adrian Wilmot having moved finally up into 3rd place. But here comes the run to the final flag.
The Grand Hill Trophy goes the way of Miles Griffiths after a wonderful battle with Alex Buncombe. But it's Miles Griffiths who has taken yet another victory here at Goodwood over the years, and that was beautifully done. They had such a great battle. Unfortunately, Alex Buncombe had that slide, got into a bit of trouble, sorted himself out. Now, 3rd place is going to go to the Bizzarini, the number 81. I think that's going to be able to hold on quite comfortably in the end. Yes, it is. Adrian Wilmot is going to take 3rd in that glorious-looking machine. Quite a rare car, of course. But
well, hold on a second.
Okay. Oh, no, you're right.
Murray Shepherd's come back up somehow on the final lap. I was looking for the black and white Cobra. Didn't expect to see it in front of Adrian Wilmot. Don't know what happened to Adrian. His lap pace did fall down a little bit, so maybe he suddenly had a problem. And Murray Shepherd, who had gone down the order, came back up. He takes 4th place, but 3rd place, making it 2 TVRs in the top three. Miles Griffiths wins in one, and Mike Whitaker, along with Murray Shepherd, gain from whatever happened to Adrian Wilmot.
And then the battle that we saw earlier, Ollie Bryant gets 7th, Nigel Greensall gets 8th in the end. Bill Shepherd and the AC Cobra couldn't quite keep up with those two, but it was a wonderful race that we saw between them in that slightly further down the top 10. But it's Miles Griffiths from Alex Buncombe, top 2, and 3rd place, as you say, for Mike Whitaker. In the end, it was a great result for Mike Whitaker.
The revs rise, and we're about to go racing for the Surtees Trophy, and the flag flies, and we are racing. A great start, a brilliant start from 3rd place man Andrew Cicaldi in the Chevron, away and well. So good a start he got, heading into Madrid with a gap in front of him, and then slotting in alongside Spears and Mitchell, going toe to toe. Who's going to come out on top of him? It's actually Ian Simmons in the Lola, who had a great start from the 2nd row, getting up into 2nd in front of Spears. So the pole man falling down to 3rd in the early stages, but what a start from Andrew Cicaldi with the gap he has, already over a 2nd as the 129 further back in the pack, trying to find a little bit of room. That's the Cooper of James Bellingham slotting in behind. Alex Brundle keeping neat and tidy as well, making up a couple of positions early doors.
Yeah, Alex Brundle got a great start, but not as good as Andrew Cicaldi. He has launched away into the lead. He was about 1.4 seconds off John Spears' fastest time yesterday, so he'll obviously clearly feel he needs to try and get the jump, and that he certainly did. Is nice and cleanly getting away. I did see there was one staller on the grid, not sure who that was, but everyone managed to avoid.
Here we go, a little move being done. Ian Simmons coming under pressure from John Spears, who makes it look easy down the inside of the right-hander approaches, and through goes Spears, making up positions. The pole sitter doesn't usually have a habit of getting away well in any race around the Goodwood members meeting so far today. John Spears adding to that list, but now making up for lost time as they come across the line to start lap 2 of this 25-minute race.
Yeah, and here we get the replay of the start. Looks slightly I mean, look at that for a launch from Andrew. Absolutely launched away, and I still can't see from the shot the car that did stall at the back, but everyone avoided. But it's a nice gap. But hang on, Harry. Looks like to me that 1.7 gap is starting to close.
Is this where it starts to make up time? Spears now up into 2nd spot, so he is picking them off one by one after his tough start from pole position. We're looking at the 2016 European Le Mans champion Alex Brundle in the #1 for GT40.
Timing screens, I know the move's just taken place. 10-second penalty for Andrew Cicaldi for a false start. So we'll have another look. I mean, he's lost the lead now. A move has taken place by Spears is through, but that's going to drop him way down the order. Currently, that would drop him all the way outside the top 10.
In his Chevron, half a second the gap between himself and poleman John Spears in the number 96 McLaren. That's how it currently looks. Then comes Simmons in the 117, making his way through and up past the next car along. So that would have been that's Simmons getting through earlier. So the 117 of Ian Simmons just coming through the chicane now in front of the 81 car. Brundle is coming through here at a rate of knots. He's looking to the inside of Cicaldi, who has that penalty. It's easy pickings for Alex Brundle alongside. The GT40 goes through, but he runs a little bit out wide. That's going to give Cicaldi a tighter line, but that GT40 has more power, almost has a bit of a kick on the rear on the exit. Cicaldi's not giving this one up, but Brundle is through for the time being and up into 3rd spot. With 16 minutes remaining, tantalisingly close, and he is absolutely wringing the neck of that Ford GT40. It's the #1 car that contains Brundle. Lock up from Cicaldi down the inside in the Chevron on Brundle. Brundle's rear end sticks out. He controls it nicely, but Brundle down a position, down to 4th. Cicaldi coming back. And now Ian Simmons in 2nd, Cicaldi 3rd, Brundle 4th, but Brundle with all the power, almost 468 brake horsepower in that GT40, now back in front of the Chevron of Cicaldi. What a fight this is.
Yeah, it's a great fight. Cicaldi's going to have a little look down the chicane. That's brave stuff, thinks better of it. Alex did the right thing, gave him racing room. He'll step on the gas now, head up this slightly uphill start-finish line. Brundle now promoted up to P2, so let's have a little bit of a look as if...
It was navigating the traffic, that's what it was. So as Brundle was navigating the traffic, Sinclair got caught, Simmons got caught almost stuck, but then went really slow through the chicane, actually. So, because Brundle and Kirkcaldy both got through, here they are now, and you can see behind them as well that Simmons is still there and in this race, side by side though. Kirkcaldy onto the grass, the rear end steps out, Brundle through, keeps hold of that position, up into second, Kirkcaldy down into third, and here comes Simmons, having just lost a couple of positions, seemingly caught out by a bit of traffic. Simmons through now and back in front of Kirkcaldy into third, but he was fighting with Brundle as well. He'd have another couple of seconds to close up that gap now.
Oh, yeah, Kirkcaldy was almost shaking his head, I think, there by the looks of it. Alex Brundle, but it looked like Brundle gave him enough racing room. Kirkcaldy just clipping the grass. Very close stuff there on the exit, but that's pushed him down. Remember, he has got that 10-second penalty, so for a false start, which will drop him much further down the order. But that now brings him Bellinger in the 1-2-9 into this battle, and Ben Mitchell. So we said the traffic would play a part, and ever so sideways with Bellinger on the exit of Madwick there, but manages to gather it together and sneak on through.
The Cooper gets through on the Chevron, a little bit of smoke coming off the tyre as well for James Bellinger in that Cooper. And now it's navigating the traffic. They've got to get through on a GT40. It's currently Cooper in the lead of this gaggle, but look out for the 95. That's the other Chevron of Ben Mitchell, who's making hay while the sun shines in the traffic. He's getting himself right into this mix. I thought he would have got them both, but no, he falls back behind again. It's still the 1-2-9 in the lead of this gaggle. This is currently the fight for third place, for Bellinger, sorry, for fifth place, currently in that fifth spot. Then comes Kirkcaldy, then comes the Ben Mitchell Chevron. Three fighting tooth and nail. Brundle slow in the GT40. Falls down from second place. Alex Brundle, who started 10th and absolutely clawed his way up through the field, was up into second spot with only a few laps. Has there been a mistake? Is there an issue on the Ford GT40 of Alex Brundle, who plummets through the field? He's still running, but that promotes Simmons up into second. Then comes Bellinger, then Kirkcaldy, then Mitchell, all making their way through. Brundle dropping through the timings. There he is, just to the left of shot. He'll come through in a moment. He's just in the background there. You can see him still running. So was there a mistake for Brundle? We'll try and find out. But at the moment, he's lost second place, and through goes Simmons and the rest of the gang. Back markers coming into play for the two Chevrons, though, and it's getting tight and tighter. Bellinger now embroiled in an absolute battle with the two Chevrons behind. Bellinger holding out for the time being. Kirkcaldy's going to be coming under pressure from Mitchell in the 95, all-white Chevron, who's going to make it round the outside. They close right up under braking to Bellinger in front, who's in the Cooper, and it's Kirkcaldy who wins out the Chevron fight because Mitchell has to run out onto the grass through the chicane. Another lap for that, please. I'll take it very much so. And more pain for Alex Brundle, who's sliding down the order once again after being up into second. Did he come into the pits?
I think so, yeah. So, it's so close to contact. There is the 1-2-9.
Bellinger's off. Bellinger off into the grass, and also the other one as well, just skating off into the grass, but manages to rejoin. That's the Lola of Simmons. They were all so close to each other, absolutely pushing to the limit. It was only a matter of time before something went wrong. Leader spun. That's John Spears in the McLaren, the 96. The pole sitter, the race leader, has spun. He had a sizable gap, but has that cost him the lead of this race? I think it has done. It absolutely has. Spears then spinning out. We haven't seen how it happened, but we've seen the end result, and that means Kirkcaldy now finds himself back into the lead of this race with a 10-second time penalty. Ben Mitchell in the other Chevron is 7/10 behind him, who all he needs to do is stay within 10 seconds, and he's going to win this race if he can hold on to it for the next 2 minutes. Let's see what happened to our race leader.
Is it going to be contact there? Possibly. I said the back markers would come into play, and it looks like, I mean, nice shot of a building there, but it looks like he had some kind of contact with the number 4.
That's the Korachan for GT40,
another one of our
back marker.
and he had over a 12-second gap as well, so he was obviously just desperate to try and make his way through.
Through the chicane then, one final time to see off the Surtees Trophy, and what a race that has been. Andrew Kirkcaldy will take the checkered flag first, but with penalty applied, it will be the chevron of Ben Mitchell who takes the race win. John Spears, who started on pole, a poor start, led this race for so long, spinning out, will have to settle for second, and then the 117, the Lola of Ian Simmons, will round out the podium. Kirkcaldy with the penalty applied comes home in fourth. Charlie Martin with a great result from ninth on the grid in the Lola will round out the top five. But my words, what a race that was. The sports cars deliver time and time again.
The SFH Trophy is underway for the second time here at the Goodwood Members Meeting as ever. It's a slow getaway for Mark Walker, but it doesn't mean the race is over. We've got a car stopped, unfortunately. It didn't get away at all. And actually, it's a really good start by Neil Goff. There we are. It's getting away now. Number 17, Francois van der Straten-Pontos. And what about Walker? Do you think he got away with better this time?
Way better. He only fell down to about 5th place at the start. He's already up to 4th as he's working clear, but he's got past Ben Collins. That's a good marker. It took him about 3 laps yesterday to catch and pass. He fell back about 5 places further. Don't forget, these drivers have very little rearward view. If they have a mirror, it's rudimentary, it's vibrating so much, it's no use at all. So leading the race, as expected, the driver from pole position, which is Julien Majoub in that very streamlined Sunbeam going away. Then the Bicêtre in the big Fiat S76 ahead of Neil Goff in second and third position, and then now starting to get the flow, the momentum going is Mark Walker. There he is in the background, leaning down low. He is the most demonstrative of driver. He's like a motorcycle rider on top of that.
He really is. I agree with you on that. And as you say, he's not as far back as he has been. This was a really good start for Duncan Pittaway in the Le Beast, the Fiat that you're looking at now, which has even a slightly bigger engine than this one that we've been watching, Mark Walker's. So that's 25 litres. The Fiat, they went even bigger. I think they were about the biggest of all time because they were going for land speed record with that as well. And that's 28 litres, a 4-cylinder engine of 28 litres. But he's got a lot of... He always gets the fire coming out the back. Don't worry too much when you see the fire coming out the back. We always see it.
He's show and go. Bear in mind, that car at the time, the Fiat, was faster than the fastest aeroplane that existed. And also, it accelerated faster than if you were falling off the top of a building. Put those little facts in your mind. But the story is the same as yesterday. We have leading from pole position. We've got Julien Majoub in the Sunbeam Indianapolis. But the story is coming from behind. It's Mark Walker. He's down in 4th place, leading. And you just can imagine how physical it is. This 200 horsepower Darrick racer sitting aboard it. He will now get onto the tail of the Fiat. Again, he's in third place. Third place is the bright red Fiat. In behind is Mark Walker, getting closer and closer. Again, he doesn't have lots of punch out of the chicane, but when the momentum comes, in fact, I tell you what, the driver in behind, sorry, and that's him catching, I confused him with Goff in 3rd place. So Neil Goff being passed easily by Walker. He's now got 3rd place. The next target, of course, is the mighty Fiat.
He uses his hand. You could see, you were watching his feet from our on board. He wasn't braking with his feet because he can't. He's got a handle at the side of him, and when he's braking, he just pulls on the handle. That applies the rear brakes, and then he's into the corner. Some of them have quite standard, sort of more what we have now, what we're used to with pedals, but a lot of them have the handles. Here we go then. He's got the opportunity now to take 2nd place, Mark Walker, and there is really an opportunity. 8 seconds, 8.9 seconds, the two of them, behind the race leader now. Right now, this is a lovely battle that's going on for 3rd place.
It's a 3-way battle. Pittaway, Goff and Collins just in behind, and a change of position there because Goff goes past Pittaway. So he had a good race yesterday in the crit, and he's back heading for the podium. The air, unfortunately, tyre has run off the rims.
Yeah, we've seen that before, haven't we?
We have. Last year we had it at the Romano, I think, going into chicane. Yes. The tyre came through, not the wheel.
Let's see if we actually spot it at the back left there. See, yeah. Oh, a puncture, and then the tyre flies off. So that it seemed to be a puncture, didn't it?
Absolutely did. And in behind, getting on the dirt, on the dust, was the Sunbeam of Marcus Black, who managed to keep it pointing the right way. Maybe Ben Collins in that cream Mercedes will be able to pick off Duncan Pittaway. Now, back markers always have a role to play. And this is Duncan Pittaway being overtaken by the crit. Well, that was a great move of momentum. But you know what? That was braking later that made that happen. Mark Walker, he's getting close. much closer. He's got a better exit from Lavant. He's going through the kink. Now, oh my gosh, he always has to brake earlier than the Sunbeam, but he should get his nose in front. Here comes the kink.
Here we go. This is a battle really beginning for the win here. And Mark Walker's got alongside, but you may well see Julian come back down the inside through this section because he can be quicker through the corners, but Mark got that position. Absolutely vital. Can Julian try and challenge coming into the chicane? I don't think he's going to be able to this time because Mark Walker made a better start. And although Julian can't do much, look at the speed as they come out of the chicane. Once again, Mark Walker has taken victory. It's 1-1 this year after Mark won both by tiny amounts. But of course, the outright victory for the event depends on who was first by
how much yesterday. Right, the margin that needed to be defended was 2.25 seconds. So incoming just under 1 seconds down. Julian Majoub has just had enough in the bag to take the aggregate victory.
Wow.
But they would have loved that. And also, Duncan Pittaway's had to fight really, really hard. Finishing in third place is the great run from Neil Goff. But here we go. Drivers who've raced against each other so many times. The fear to Duncan Pittaway will take fourth. In behind, Ben Collins will come in fifth. And Huey Walker there with the yellow and red helmet, son of Mark Walker, comes through to take seventh place, just behind Collins.
Yeah, James Collins got the sixth place in the end. So here we are. This is how it worked at the end for Mark Walker to win this race. But what we think is that Julian will have won it outright because you have to add the two races together. Look at the times, and it looks as though Julian may have got the advantage. But what a wonderful performance this was by Mark Walker to make the pass going into Woodcote Corner on the final lap. We thought that he'd probably do it on the Exeter chicane, as we saw last year a couple of times. This time, just that little bit earlier, using the straight line speed. Wonderfully done, and he won by 1.7 seconds.
31, and that is being restored nicely by his collection as we get underway then for this race getting going. Julian Majoub making his way down into turn one. Can he hold on to the lead? Yes, he can, but it's a decent start for the 51 Timothy Dutton round the outside. Can he hold on to it? Getting a little bit of a wiggle on the rear. Has to slot back in behind. Matt Walton in the Bugatti Type 51 has had a great start as well from the second row of the grid, but leading away, I think it might be Dutton. No, Julian Majoub has fallen back a little bit and holds on, I should say, to that position, and out and away he goes.
Side by side again, narrow cars allow lots of different racing lines, and great to see this mix running around the early part of the opening. That the bright yellow car that stands out beautifully for Jonathan Bailey, but it was a case of holding on around the inside of the first corner. Julian Majoub from pole, great run from the outside the front row, the red nose of the Type 51 Bugatti Timothy Dutton, but that brilliant start from the second row certainly changing the order as Matt Walton went up into third place.
So Julian Majoub leads the way then in his Bugatti Type 35B. Then we'll wait and see who comes through in second. But Duncan Pittaway, they got just a little bit haunted off of the line, and this making its way through now. The 51 getting up into second. That was Timothy Dutton, is chasing down Julian Majoub, tucked in behind, trying to get a little bit of slipstream in these 1920s Grand Prix cars. Closing up, they can't find a way through just yet.
But what is so remarkable is it was incredibly close in official practice that formed the grid, but these first two, Julian Majoub and Timothy Dutton, getting away. Duncan Pittaway, not a brilliant start, he's back up into third place as Matt Walton, who gained third, seems to have fallen back a little bit. Brilliant high shot, the Fraser Nash going very well. You can see better exits, the second of those two cars behind Charlie Martin in the green Type 35, and a brilliant run from the bright yellow car of Jonathan Bailey. Overtakes the Fraser Nash and may well pick off Charlie Martin before they get down to the first corner.
Making his way now towards Madrid. This was a 20-minute race, already down to 18 minutes and counting, as that number 10 Fraser Nash making its way through. Currently Tim Crichton down to 6th now, having lost a position early doors, making its way through, and there through again the 21 Jonathan Bailey in that Bugatti. Big puff of smoke coming out of the back of Matt Walton's Bugatti Type 51 just behind. Julian Majoub leads the way there in the gap now, and actually he's just whacked out a stellar gap, over 3 seconds. And where there was some smoke coming out of the back of Matt Walton's Bugatti Type 51, and you can just see smoke as well erupting from the front end, and even the engine cover just rattling ever so slightly. Looking either side, problem then that would explain it for Matt Walton.
Julian Majoub in number 20 and the number 51, the slightly newer Type 51 of Timothy Dutton, are just in another class today.
through stops in the Bugatti. That's the 44 car, the dark blue, that's heading up this gaggle here, getting very close to the 88 of Michael Peet, and then the number 22 as well. That's the Delage also involved in this. This is a nice scrap for 9th, 10th and 11th. So those final points playing positions at the moment headed up by stops as it currently stands. Then comes Bissard in the Delage, then Pete in the 88. Really getting out and trying to get it started again. Are we about to see what happens?
Well, spin out of the chicane, rotates one way, sees the grandstands, and then gets to see the grandstands looking the other way across the track. But unfortunately, almost a zero-speed spin at the end. Beautiful slow-mo there, but then to stall it, have to hop out of the car, don't have any belts to undo. Has he got it going as yet? I'm not entirely no, he hasn't as yet. So that's sitting at the side of the track. We have a safety car being brought out onto the track because of that spun Philip Bewley car, the Type 35A from 1925, an ex-Malcolm Campbell car, but in fact that can be said for many cars in the field. Malcolm Campbell did race a lot of Type 35 Bugattis.
Yeah, that car is on the side of the track, but it is near enough the racing line, so safety car being brought out for that. The clock continues to chime down. So we can look at this either way. This obviously completely closes the gap up. So that 6-second gap that Pitway had is gone, as we've got a wheel off for the number 3, and that's Charlie Martin. And the Bugatti Type 35B was up into the top 5. Martin, a prolific historic racer, having to pull to the side, one tyre down. The 90th anniversary of the Bugatti Type 35. Julien Majoub is the first lead blue car. The Alfa Romeo of Christopher Mann is a lap down and gets out the way very nicely to allow the traffic through, and we are back underway and racing. Julien Majoub leads the way. Michael Peet, though, is the second of the blue cars. That's also a lap down and will need to get out of the way.
And there's going to be a change because it looks like Timothy Dutton has got the nose, the black and red Type 51. Number 51 up in, yes, he's got ahead of Duncan Pitaway. There's the Alfa Romeo and the number 88 Bugatti in front. Michael Peet there, a lap down, but certainly down the start, finish straight. We saw a move there. Into second place goes Timothy Dutton, returning to where he had been early in the race. Now it's up to Duncan Pitaway to fight back, the driver with the yellow and black stripy helmet, going past the Alfa Romeo, and that's very nicely moved out of the way by Christopher Mann.
So for Julien Majoub, who leads this race, has actually gone all according to plan so far. Restarted, had a gap, and is already building it. But for Duncan Pitaway and Timothy Dutton, swapping places early doors as they battle it out. Timothy Dutton in the number 51, trying to carve his way back through, though, on Duncan Pitaway, or keep Pitaway behind this time around. Timothy Dutton, who started down, missed race in third, now up into second place with the Bugatti Type 35B, and Duncan Pitaway slotting in behind in third.
Yeah, he had to really trust Duncan Pitaway there because he wanted the faster line, the wider line into Lavant, so he was out wide, which did leave a large inside line, but Duncan Pitaway wasn't lured to go in there because he knows full well, with all his racing experience, had he done so, got too close, would have been compromised, and then he'd been slowed through the second part of Lavant and then the whole way along the Lavant straight. Do I sense a little bit of smoke coming from Timothy Dutton's number 51? I think I do.
Well, there might well be drama then in these closing 4 minutes. Can we get a little look at the second of the cars coming in? Timothy Dutton, any kind of smoke coming off the back of that 51 Bugatti Type 51. Looks all right there coming down the main straight, trying to chase down Timothy Dutton, negotiating the traffic well.
Coming down through Ford Water, Duncan Pitaway, perhaps getting a tiny little bit of a tow along there, is getting closer, now going down the inside, and looks by Ford Water, he's got through. Now, what's next on the lap? Of course, St Mary's so tricky, particularly the turning in. Duncan Pitaway was magnificent there. Timothy Dutton just washing a little bit wide, so you'd have to say, surely with 3 minutes left on the clock, it's over and out for second place, but you can't say that in historic race meeting.
Well, let's get another look at this then. In the 13 on the left-hand side, that's Pitaway. On the right-hand side with the red front, that is Dutton. And then getting through goes Pitaway in the 13. There is a little bit of smoke, isn't there? Yeah, coming off of that car.
Yeah, we commented on it, and when Timothy Dutton, who's accelerating down the start-finish straight, I thought, is he just trying to duck down to be aerodynamic, or is he looking down in his cockpit?
Oh, he's on the grass. He's on the grass, and he's pulling off to the side. Bumpiness tries to come to a slow. Problem then for Timothy Dutton in the final closing stages of this race. Smoke coming off of that Bugatti Type 51. He pulls straight off.
This race belongs to Julien Majoub.
It certainly does. It's looking still close for 4th and 5th at the moment, and the Bugatti of Phil Clayton just knocking down the Alfa Romeo out of the top 10 for the time being. But out of the final corner, it's been a superb drive for Julien Majoub in the Bugatti Type 35B from pole to race winner for the Grover Williams Trophy. Duncan Pittaway comes home in second in his Bugatti Type 35B, loving his time out there. Timothy Crichton looks like he should get third in his Fraser Nash, but it was super close between the 14 and the 7. Further back, that was William Way in the Bugatti Type 37 and the number 7 car as well of Bo Williams in the Bugatti 35B. In the end, it goes the way of Way, who will come home in 4th spot. We're just about to get ready then for the Peter Collins Trophy. The flag flies and it's a bit of a stuttered start for our pole sitter in the Maserati. I think Jack Rawls in the Austin Healey might have got the best start from the front row, but after the stuttering start, the Maserati 250S comes into its own and Richard Wilson holds the lead in front of, I think, the Jag D-Type holding on into second. Yes, John Pearson, well, he's trying to hold on, but I think he might have been pinned by Jack Rawls in the end. Further fighting down, that's the 11 of Frederick Wakeman, the Jaguar C-Type, going toe-to-toe with Malcolm Harris in the Cooper T25 in 4th and 5th. But out in front then, it is indeed Richard Wilson. John Pearson did hold on to second, Jack Rawls in third. It's as they started, but Rawls in the Austin Healey is all over the back of Pearson.
He is, and a great shot there from our drone on the exit of the St Mary's corner, and going to be a challenge possibly round the outside. That's brave to do that at Levant from John Pearson in the Jag D-Type. Thinks better of it, but Jack Rawls thinks to have a go down the inside in the Austin Healey.
It's as it was at the start of this race, 25 minutes and counting on the opening lap. The Maserati 250S has the advantage for now, but John Pearson in the Jag D-Type steams past him down the inside and makes it look easy. The straight line speed of the Jag, not a match for that Maserati, but is the Maserati going to fight back? Takes a much tighter line to the apex, actually compromises on the exit as they come into the chicane, because now Wilson has got the Austin Healey of Jack Rawls all over the back of him, and they're bringing the Cooper of Malcolm Harrison along for the ride as well. Lap number 2 we go. No big movers and shakers in that top 5. They're all started in and around where they're all at the moment in and around where they started. But will the Maserati try and fight back through? Yes, he does. Richard Wilson gets back into the lead going through Madgwick. Battle for 8th going on, you can see in your screen Scott Redding in his Ferrari 500, the rear end really stepping out as he chases down Nigel Webb in the Jaguar C-Type, and that little bit of rear end has allowed Jonathan Bailey in the D-Type to close right on to the back of him. Can Bailey make the move here on Scott Redding? That rear end sticking out for Redding, just costing him there in straight line speed, and Jonathan Bailey says thank you very much, I'll take that position very nicely. 9th goes to the Jaguar D-Type, and unfortunately the Ferrari heads down a spot with in the hands of Scott Redding down into 10th spot come the end of lap 7.
The battles continue and it's hotting up at the front. Look, traffic playing its part again. So Pearson right now on the back of Wilson.
And I think this time around the traffic has benefited Pearson over Wilson compared to the last time. The gap has closed right up now. That is less than a second when you look at it. And Pearson second in that Jaguar D-Type, closing, trying to get side on with the Maserati. Moves to the left-hand side, dives to the right-hand side, can't find a way through there. Wilson positioning that Maserati in all the right places.
Saying 10 minutes left to go, Harry, because we have got some great battles. We've obviously got this tough fight forward, having the 21s having a look down the inside. That's going to be brave into St Mary's. Doesn't manage to get down the inside enough. He's going to have another go as he heads up through Levant corner. There is some traffic ahead. You're going to be brave to go around the outside. There is Bailey. Let's have a little look if he's late on the brakes. Gets a little bit of a wiggle Is he going to try and get the cutback? No, not quite.
The battle, though, for the lead has switched. It's Wilson who has now fallen behind Pearson, the Maserati behind the Jaguar, and here is what happened. It's the old Yeller getting in the way once again, or not too much, but that was enough to unsettle the Maserati, and the more momentum was with Pearson, who now retakes the lead of this race. It's now advantage Jaguar. The Maserati is now in the hunt. And still the battle for the lead rages on down the inside. Late on the brakes for Wilson in the Maserati. He gets the move done, but did he get on the grass? He does. The rear end steps out. He holds it together, and somehow Richard Wilson, my word, what a move that was, gets the Maserati back in front of the Jag. He's slow, he's slow, he's slow. He's got his hand up in the air for Pearson. He's got an issue. Is he going to peel into the pits at the end of this lap? He comes out of the chicane. What's gone wrong for the Jaguar D-Type? So this was a little further back in the pack, the battle over 7th place. This is Jonathan Bailey in the 21, the cream Jaguar D-Type, blasting past, finally, the Jaguar C-Type of Nigel Webb. Those two have been going at it for several laps on the last few occasions.
I was just about to say, Harry, we've got a great battle there for 2nd place, and it is Jack Rawls there, the number 15 car.
Oh, he's off onto the grass!
And Wakeman, I mean, wouldn't get an easier pass there, would he, Rawls? Goes onto the grass, does Wakeman, just losing the rear ever so slightly out of Levant, and more traffic there. So this is now one of the closer battles on the circuit. Of course, this is for 2nd place. So a race prepared. Healy there by Bill Rawls, and it's driven by his son, Jack. And I'm sure they're watching nervously on the pit wall. It's Glenn Cayley that owns the car. And they're going to go neck and neck down the main straight. Back down the inside goes Wakeman and the Austin Healy. It really is, you could say, punching above its weight. 2.6 litre engine underneath there, compared to that of Wakeman in his Jack C-Type, 3.4 litre. So Jack doing a great job there in the Austin.
King of the field, you have to say, has been this Maserati 250S in the hands of Richard Wilson. Started on pole, great battle with John Pearson. Unfortunately, Pearson had to peel into the pits, and that led the way for Richard Wilson, who will come across the line and take the checkered flag to win the Peter Collins Trophy. The Maserati is victorious. We look next to Frederick Wakeman in the Jaguar C-Type, who will just pit Jack Rawls in the Austin Healy to 2nd. Rawls rounds out 3rd, and what is that battle doing between Joseph Rettenmeyer in the Maserati and Oliver Mathai in the Jag D-Type? Coming out of the chicane now is Rettenmeyer, who has the advantage, but how good an exit can Mathai get to the line? He's not going to be able to do it, or as he tries to tuck into the toe, it's going to go to the line, but in the end it's going to go the Maserati's way. Joseph Rettenmeyer just manages to hold on to 4th. Oliver Mathai having to settle for a top 5 position. Feisty race 2 for Jonathan Bailey in the 21 Jaguar D-Type, who is just come across the line in 6th. Then comes Nigel Webb. This is the 7th place car, the number 24, just keeping Gary Pearson in the Jaguar XK120 Mistral at bay. They will come together across the line. The Mistral just behind, waving. Don't wave too quickly. The line comes. Keep your foot to the floor, secure that 7th spot, and he does indeed do so. Webb 7th, Pearson 8th, and then the 95 car will seal the deal in 9th. That was Burt. And then rounding out the top 10 in the number 5, Bobby Verdon Rowe in the HWM.
We're ready for the final race at the members' meeting at Goodwood in 2024. Flag goes down, away go the Minis, good start, and as ever from the 2nd row, good start from Nick Swift, but actually from pole, Larry Wall making a very good start. Number 64, that is Larry, he's on the inside, but round the outside goes Nick Swift in the blue and white Mini, and Edor may be brave enough to go right round the outside here. Look how close the Minis are. I love the way they wobble around through a fast corner like that, and it is Nick who's taken the lead.
It is. did, and look, they're almost blocking the faster, more powerful engines behind. And I said it to you, Ben, off air, that we were so excited, weren't we, to see these minis lining up on the front. It's getting ever so close, though, further on behind.
Yeah, absolutely good. The Camaros are already forcing their way through. I think that James Thorpe is one of those. Jack Tetley certainly has made a good start, but I think James Thorpe's made an even better one. So Nick Swift is in the advance. Oh, there's a contact between the Mini and a Rover, and that's our poleman, Larry. Whoa! They make into contact again. My goodness, I'm amazed they didn't get collected and T-boned by a bunch more cars there. That's unfortunate on this opening lap. Nick Swift is still leading, but now look, there is James Thorpe. As I thought, he started 13th and he's already in second.
He stormed through, didn't he? Really did, making sure that he was sliding his way through the gaps. I would expect that we will probably see a safety car. No flags out at the moment, as coming now into the chicane, and this is one of my favourite shots of the weekend. And the little Mini there is, and safety car is out on track now, which is what we expected. So racing will be slowed, all drivers will back up, and
what a shame.
Look at that, Larry Waugh in the Mini.
I wonder if that was an error. We'll have a look at what happened again here, Alice. Now, there's an initial contact between the Rover and the Mini there. All right, and then he goes off on the grass, and then they make contact, ironically, that they make contact again together.
But he was full, he could not have done anything different there, because Larry was, you could see the front wheels, and you can see there's the contact between the Rover. Brake lights are on, the front wheels are fully locked up, and the grass is slightly wet. And off they went skating, so huge disappointment and a wave there. They're glad to see they're all all right, but seeing it was a hefty hit, that Mini's pretty strong, isn't it? And now we're going to see here, he evades the scene, goes round the outside, and we do, Ben, unfortunately, whilst we're watching this replay, looking out the commentary box window, looks like that we do have a red flag.
The Gordon Spice sprint is underway, so it is Rupert Death away initially. Nick Swift once again trying to make a really good start in his blue and white Mini. The Mazda starting from the back, but already that's a great start by Jack Tetley this time. Jack Tetley from what was the third row, but with sort of cars missing. He had a bit more clearance in front of him, and Jack has already, there you are, you're riding on board with Jack now. You're looking back, he's got the lead of this race, and his main aim now is to get as big an advantage. He could be in position now to win this, because his big rivals have got to spend some time coming through this lot.
He certainly has, and he's got the rivals that are desperately trying to squeeze through these Minis in front of them. Oh, and the number 60 of Nick Swift in the Mini getting a bit of a wobble through there, and then the 63 having a bounce. Rupert Death there, but already Jack, and as you said, that car was badly damaged last year. Oh no, and that is the 60 going across the grass.
Nick Swift actually making an error of something going wrong there. I'm not sure what it was. Maybe something that was wrong with the car that gave him that sideways moment. Meanwhile, the Mustangs are trying to move up through the order. I'm not sure they've had quite such a good getaway. The one that Craig Davis had in the first start, I'm not sure he's got away to quite the same effect, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Michael Whittaker in the Rover, a brilliant start. Michael Whittaker Jr., that is, who has had a great weekend here at Goodwood already. So he's up into second place with the blue Rover, and that is a brilliant spot to be in, having started quite a long way down. Nick Swift has pulled over, we gather, and has dropped out of the race completely. So across the line, so Tetley is the leader, and then we've got Michael Whittaker Jr. in second place in the Rover. He won the Ken Miles with Andrew Jordan earlier today, and then you can also see that coming up through the order now, Fred Shepherd is going extremely well, number 17 in the Mustang. So this time, he's the best of the Mustangs, and it wasn't such a good start for Craig Davis. So you'll see that I think at the opportunity he takes here, Fred Shepherd's going to draw alongside the Rover, and the Ford Mustang is going to take that spot, is it? Oh no, he's having to brake, and it's a good late braking manoeuvre. Leader's gone through, the Rover's holding on, and Michael Whittaker Jr. is doing a great job, I have to say, to hold off Fred Shepherd for the moment in the Mustang, but you may see that's going to be harder now.
That's going to be harder, especially down this long pit straight. And there we go. There's your proof. Fred pulls to the right-hand side, left-hand side as you look at it, and sails on through 128.4. That is 1 second quicker than Tetley in the Chevrolet, who's out in front. Lights full beam. Let's see if Fred decides to do touring car style and use his lights.
But he feels the car is not quite as rapid as it was last year. It's been recently repaired and all put back together and beautifully restored after the damage that was done, but he feels there's still a bit more work to be done to get it handling to the same level. And here we go, battle for the lead. This is a real chance for Fred Shepherd, but he's on the outside again, and that's always tricky to go around the outside. He backs off.
Yeah, that's into Woodcote Corner now. The next opportunity will be down into the chicane. Thinks better of it. Going to try and use the grunt of the Ford Mustang down the straight and gets a little bit sideways on the exit of the chicane. Here we're looking back now. Tetley is holding on to that inside line. The Chevy Camaro is holding up against the Ford Mustang at the moment. Holds it slightly tighter. Does he run out wide? No, he doesn't. So great defensive driving from Tetley. And that intimidating image of having a Ford Mustang all over the rear of your car, especially when Fred Shepherd is behind it, and it is the front is just having a little bit of a lock-up there into Levant Corner, and that's going to give the opportunity to Fred Shepherd to go down the inside and take the lead.
Fred Shepherd's now leading the Gordon Spice sprint. He started back on the 7th row of the grid, but with 6.5 minutes to go, he has now taken the lead. Definitely, so let's hope he can. I think he's being sensible about it, but he's in quite a group of cars here now. Jack Young trying to get around the outside as we go back on board. Oh.
Slightly in the background, sorry Ben, there almost nearly contact between the two Mustangs in the back there. That is Craig Davies trying to make his way through. Got a really, really good start in the previous start, but wasn't able to replicate that in this one.
Up front, I tell you that Freddie Shepherd is just easing away into the distance. He's 4.5, 5 seconds ahead. That's still opening up. So really the fights are going to be for the other podium positions, because I think Fred's definitely on target for victory. Down the inside. Oh, the slightest touch between them there. James Cottingham has got through.
Yeah, the Chevy slides on past, but that's now Ford on the back. Craig Davis in the Mustang, and running ever so slightly wide is Tetley. He is wringing the neck, absolutely, but it's not enough at the moment. Then further back there, we have Young, who's storming up behind in the Chevrolet Camaro, getting ever so close. And here is the battle now between the Fords.
Yeah, and funnily enough, it's been a bit of a change around the other way once again, because now Matt Green's got back past. So I'm not quite sure what happened there to Charlie March. He got held up somewhere. And now, as you can see on the onboard, that's a good pass as Matt Green manages to get past Rick Wood, and Charlie March goes through as well. So they both get past the other Capri. Got a Triumph Dolomite Sprint trying to get into it as well, as all of them now are going on to their last lap.
Fred, he has driven an exceptional race. Knows this car inside out, knows Goodwood inside out, and he has done a perfect race. It's been a short race, 12 minutes from where he started on the 7th road, but he's done an excellent job.
He really has. They finished second in the longer race yesterday as a two-driver race, but it is Fred Shepherd who takes victory in the sprint race in the excellent machine that has brought him all the way across the line. And second place goes to James Cottingham. Third actually does go to Jack Tetley. Tetley, oh no, it is Davis. I thought it was. It's just that the board came up. So we have got some problems there, as Rick Wood has dropped back, I gather. So Rick Wood, the other Capri, yeah, there you are, you're on board with Rick. So it's a mechanical problem. These other two Capris are still fighting like crazy, trying to work out who's going to end up ahead in the pairing. Matt Green is in front at the moment. Charlie March is going to try and get through on the inside. It's the chicane. Oh, and Charlie, as he's got it together, yeah. And Matt's done the right thing. He had to back off, really, and let him take advantage because he didn't go through the chicane. So Charlie March takes that 10th spot, and that was a wonderful battle between them.